Good morning, and welcome to our series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. Today, we have part 2, the final part, on animals. The first question to the mother. Sweet mother, I didn't understand this. Quote, this is the power of Mahalakshmi, and there is no aspect of the divine Shakti more attractive to the heart of embodied beings. End quote. Mother replies, that means men. It is another way of saying human beings upon the earth. Beings upon earth. There are also, it means animals also. She is very, very loving towards animals. And animals love her very much. Even the most ferocious ones become gentle with her. And that is why, instead of using the words human beings, he has used embodied beings. Beings with a body upon earth. The one who is friendly with animals, who has no fear, this is because there is a great physical affinity between them, an intimacy for all kinds of reasons, you see, a spontaneous physical friendship. Sri Aurobindo, the idea of time may be a mental construction, but the sense of it may not be. Savages have the idea of time, but it is in connection with the sun and stars and the lapse of day and night and the seasons, not perhaps a separate construction, but one is not sure, for they have metaphysical conceptions of their own. Animals are not, I think, so limited in their consciousness. They have not only sensations, but an acute memory of certain things, observation, clear associations, an intelligence that plans, a very accurate sense of place and memory of place, an initial power of reasoning, parentheses, not reflectively as the human mind does, but practically as any vital mind can do, end parentheses. I have seen a young kitten observing, arriving at a correct conclusion, proceeding to do what was necessary for her purpose. A necessity imposed by that conclusion, just as a human child might do. We cannot therefore say that animals have no ideas, no clear measure of yesterday and tomorrow perhaps, but the perception of past and future needs is there, and of right times and seasons also, all vital, practical, not reflectively mental in the human way. the satisfaction of their emotions and desires, and their bodily needs is what animals desire. Mostly. Animals are predominantly the vital creations on earth. The mind in them also is a vital mind. They act according to the push of the forces and have a vital but not a mental will. Human life and mind are neither in tune with nature like the animals, nor with spirit. Yet it is a more simple and honest consciousness, that of the animal. Of course, it expects something, but even if it does not get, the affection remains. Many animals, even if ill-treated, do not lose their love, which means a remarkable psychic development in the vital. The emotional being of animals is often much more psychic than that of men, who can be very insensitive. There were recently pictures of the tame tigress kept by a family and afterwards given by them to a zoo. The look of sorrow on the face of the tigress in her cage, at once gentle and tragically poignant, is so intense as to be heartbreaking. Most animals do not usually attack unless they are menaced or frightened or somehow made angry, and they can feel the atmosphere of people. There are people who can move the ears without doing yoga at all, or calling upon the resources of the Kundalini. I suppose it is simply a movement that man has lost through disuse, not having had, like the animal, to prick up his ear at every moment, to listen to sounds that might indicate danger. I suppose he could revive the faculty if it were of any use. Yes, to watch the animals with the right perception of their consciousness helps to get out of the human mental limitations and see the cosmic consciousness on earth individualizing itself in all forms: plant, animal, man, and growing towards what is beyond man. It is true that the plant world, even the animals, if one takes them the right way, can be much better than human beings. It is the mental distortion that makes men worse. This world is so arranged that it is not possible to live without some destruction of life. So for this, there need be no remorse. Only one should not destroy life wantonly or inflict needless suffering on animals or any living things. The power to discuss And debate is, as I say, a common human faculty and habit. Perhaps it is here that man begins to diverge from the animal. For animals have much intelligence. Many animals, and even insects, have some rudimentary power of practical reasoning. But so far as we know, they do not meet and put their ideas about things side by side, or sling them at each other in a debate, as even the most ignorant human can do, and very animatedly does. All the same, animals have a soul and can respond very readily to the psychic in man. Question: is there any psychic love in animals? Sri Aurobindo: their sexual love is vital, physical. The rest also mostly. Some psychic element does come in the higher kinds. Some animals have a psychic affection for man. The soul in the animal evolves its manifestation to a point at which it can pass from the expression in animal to the expression in human consciousness. You had been promised that the bullocks would not be beaten, but we have been told by more than one eyewitness that they have been beaten by yourself and the servants, and badly beaten too. We strongly disapprove. We are entirely against this kind of maltreatment. It is not by beating, but by patience and a persistent will, without getting into a nervous irritation, that work can be taught to animals. They are far more intelligent than you believe. All love is a different matter. It has sometimes a powerful effect, very powerful, in conciliating automatically men, animals, nature itself. The only beings who do not respond are the asuras and rakshasas. There are, by the way, animals that live for many centuries, but as they have not the philosophic mind, the question for them does not arise. Probably they take it as a matter of course. And that concludes our question and answer series on animals, giving us a far deeper sense of what our relationship to them must become and be. Thank you.